Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. And if you're in Australia, you're having a lovely new weekend. All right, today, what I want to talk about is really breaking down beliefs and what is the belief and where do they come from and how do we change them, most importantly. Okay, because if you look at any belief, it's really just a thought that you've had on repeat. Okay. We take in a lot of what our beliefs are formed between that age of 0 and 7, where we're walking around, we're very, very unconscious. Okay. And so we take on a lot of these beliefs just through what we hear and what we see. And because we are not um, mature enough, emotionally, intellectually, physically, we don't question what these beliefs are. We just take them in as truths. Okay. So what we hear is what forms our beliefs and what we see. And because it's not just talk is cheap. That's the saying, isn't it? What we see the people, the role model in our lives doing are even more influential. Okay, so I want to talk today a little bit about the different beliefs that we've sort of grown up with, the ones that we've taken on board when maybe it's now time to question those beliefs. Do you know what I mean? It's now you're old enough, you've had enough of life experience. It's now time to just really question and go, well, is that actually true for me? Is that making my life easier or not? Okay. And today is specifically around our happiness. Are we postponing our happiness? Are you postponing your happiness? Do you catch yourself saying, I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when we have more money. I'll be happy when I lose, however many kilos. I'll be happy when, I have a different job, or there's always a when. And that is just postponing your happiness. Because what if that belief, and you may not, and this is where I want to really talk about beliefs specifically, because you may not think that that's a belief because when we think about beliefs, we think about them um, in regard to our values. All right, they're linked to our values. I believe that you should be a good person. I believe that you should treat others well. I believe that you should, you know, whatever, and they're based on your values. Okay, so this is where it can be a little bit tricky. But if you start to think of beliefs as simply words that you have on repeat, all right? Whether you're saying them out loud or whether you're saying them to yourself, all right? If they're on repeat and they're things you're saying often, then these are the beliefs that are forming your reality. So just really start to pay attention. Are you postponing your happiness? Are you saying to yourself, I'll be happy when? Or is it a version of that? Okay, right now you can't see the forest for the trees. And when you're out of that, that's when you'll be able to be happy. That's when you'll be able to relax. Okay, because we often associate happiness with relaxing and there's no pressure and we can do what we want, sort of thing. Okay, so just really have a look at that because your happiness is not a reward for being good or doing something. It's not something you earn. Your happiness is your birthright. Okay. You don't have to earn happiness because you've met certain conditions from certain people. And we're taught this through childhood. And this is not about pointing fingers. This is about bringing some awareness into your life and what may have happened because everyone does the best that they can do with what they know. And so, obviously our parents grew up with their own different pressures. And we were taught as a child through this osmosis, through this watching, this learning, that if I do this action, then this makes that person happy, which makes me feel good. So therefore, there's this exchange. I have to earn it. If I do this action, it makes them unhappy, which makes me feel not good. So this is where this whole happiness is a reward for meeting conditions. All right. Now, so think about that a little bit and just see. Again, it's not about blame, it's about awareness. Because when you have awareness, that's when you can make the changes. You can think, okay, well, obviously now that doesn't apply. Or if it's a habit that you have formed, and this is where people pleasing comes in. This is where being aware that, oh my goodness, I am repeating that habit. Okay. And when you recognize that you have a habit, that's when you can change the habit. All right. Also think about, when we're growing up, the throwaway comments or the when our parents are trying to, and we do this ourselves as parents. We're trying to instill that ethic into our children. We don't want them sitting on the couch being lazy bums. We want them to be contributing members of society. So things like work hard first and then you can relax. That's another way to delay your happiness. All right. Stop daydreaming. Get serious about life. Okay. Life, that is saying that life is not fun. Life is serious. Serious isn't fun. You should be grateful for what you have. That can make us feel guilty for wanting more. And therefore, we don't go after that joy. Being happy and feeling good when others are not, seems wrong. Okay. And then the fairy tales that we were read as children, Cinderella, Snow White, they had to suffer first and then they had this happiness after they've gone through this. So there's this perception that we have to have a hard life before we can be happy. The ugly duckling, you're worthy of happiness after you become something else, after you transform. No, you are deserving of happiness now. Every single person is deserving of happiness now. Okay. It is not something that we have to wait for. It's not something that we have to earn. So when you can recognize these things and you don't have to go down a deep dark hole to have this awareness. It can be just a very brief, oh yeah, that's right, now that I'm aware of that, I can see that, I can understand that. Okay. Because this is where you then want to have a look that how do you actually experience happiness? Do you allow yourself to enjoy the present moment? Or is it like a to-do list and it's like, done that, yes, I've achieved that goal, or yes, I've done that task, or whatever? Do you treat it just like a tick it off the box and it's gone? Or do you allow yourself to go in that moment? You know what? I did that. Yay me. And that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to, you don't have to throw a ticker tape parade. You don't have to go and shout it to the rooftops. You don't have to post it on social media. You can just give yourself a little bit of a high five and a pat on the back. But it's about breaking that habit of delaying that happiness and allowing yourself to feel happy in the moment, regardless of what has happened, regardless of how big the thing is that you've achieved. All right. So when it comes to our goals, we're so focused on achieving the goal, get to the goal, get to the goal. And we focus, 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 and we action, action. When you get to that goal, do you celebrate it? Do you enjoy it before you go off and rush on and set the next goal? This is about appreciating the now, appreciating what's happening now, because even in that appreciation, it feels good. And feeling good is just another way of saying you feel happy. Okay. So it's be very aware of your behaviors, of your habits. Do you view success as once I'm successful, then I will be happy? Okay. So that is something where, we're still earning it. It's not a reward. Happiness is not a reward. It is a daily choice. It's a daily choice, and you are the one that gets to choose it, which is great news, isn't it? Can you imagine if your happiness was up to somebody else? They're busy doing their thing. They're not. able to focus 24/7 on making you happy, it's not their job and it's not your job to do that for other people as well. Best thing you can do, the best role model you can be is somebody who does enjoy that now. I always remember there's a lady who I worked with back when I was, oh gosh, I was working at the Sheraton in Townsville when it used to be the Sheraton. And this woman, I would look at her and I go, she would have fun at a tax convention. There was just that sort of person who would always find something to be happy about. She was always laughing. She was always seeing the positive. And that was something that I really admired in this woman. And that is something that I look to. If there's anything you want to achieve in your life, work out how to do that. And it's not as hard as you think because it is a choice. We get to choose how we feel. Our external environment is our external environment. However, it doesn't have to, um, it doesn't, our happiness doesn't have to be conditional. Now, of course, there are going to be things that happen which will make us feel not happy, sad, hurt, whatever. There's a whole gamut of emotions. And there are things that are going to cause us to feel that. And that is okay. This is not about denying your emotions either. This is about having that choice. So if something's happened where it's not great, you're allowed to feel not great. You get to choose how long you stay in that not great feeling. All right. So I really encourage you guys to have a look at your own thoughts, your behaviors, your beliefs. And remember, beliefs are just those words that you've got on repeat that form your reality. Because the things that we're focused on, we're concentrating or we're repeating to ourselves, that affects our energy. That's what we're sending out to the world. So your RAS, your articulated activated system, has to bring you things to match that. All right. So become really aware and then just start to change one thing at a time. Don't try and do this massive overhaul. Okay. You can do one thing at a time. So if you've got something going on in your head that says, I'll be happy when I'm successful, maybe you can just flip that and say, happiness is available to me right now. I can be happy right now. All right. Find words that work for you though, because they have to make you feel good. They have to be believable enough for you in that moment to switch that around and start to feel a little bit better. Okay. And one way you can do that is practicing gratitude. So find something that you are grateful for in the moment. And if that's a little bit of a stretch, because sometimes it can be, especially when things are really not going well, then take yourself that back step a little bit more and get that bigger, broader overview and find something to appreciate. Okay, we can always find something to appreciate in any given moment. And even if it is very, very broad, that's okay because what you're doing is you're consciously making that effort to switch it around instead of staying in that funk. Okay. All right, so let me leave you with a quote by a lady called Mandy Hale. And Mandy says, happiness is letting go of what you think your life is supposed to look like and celebrating it for everything that it is. Okay? Be grateful for what you have now. Find something, even in those worst times, you can find one tiny, tiny thing. Even if I am grateful that my body knows how to breathe. I'm grateful that my heart is beating. Okay. There is always something that you can find to be grateful about or appreciate. And then you go as wide as you have to be until it feels like there is some relief in that stuck, unhappy feeling to starting to move towards a better feeling. And that is what you're trying to do in every moment. Don't also put unrealistic expectations. If something really, truly awful has happened, you can't be expected to just feel bliss around that. But there can be a gradual turning around. And this is what I want you guys to do. This week, you know, look at what your thoughts are. What are your beliefs? What are your behaviors? What are the things that you keep saying on repeat? And what is one thing that you can change about that to gradually move the needle across, because that's how it's going to be sustainable. Okay? Have a look at what are you waiting to be happy for, and just decide that you don't have to wait. And even that will be enough. Having that awareness, making that decision, you know what? I get to choose when I'm happy and how long I'm happy and what I'm happy about and how I celebrate being happy. Okay? It doesn't have to be something major. It's not a ticker tape parade. You don't have to announce it to the world. You feel it in yourself. And the more that you can feel that within yourself, it changes your own vibration. You're attracting things to make you feel happier. You're also sending out that beautiful, happy energy to the people around you, because our energy matters, and how we feel, it rubs off on other people as well. So that's another wonderful reason to look after your own happiness, because it does make other people happy. We know this. All right. So have an amazing Monday, whatever you're up to today. Choose to be happy as often as you can. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. Tag me. I'm happy to give any clarification that anyone needs, because at the end of the day, the more we are able to be happy within ourselves, the happier this planet is going to be as well. All right, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye bye.